A blistering burst of amber light shatters the pitch-black night across the Iranian wasteland. Well before the deafening thunder of the thrusters washes over the men who pushed the button, a trio of massive ballistic munitions is already tearing a hole into the stratosphere. These weapons are far from standard artillery. The warheads carve a massive parabolic arc, pushing past 3,800 miles per hour as they lock onto a thermal footprint identical to the USS Abraham Lincoln. Tehran's paramilitary forces firmly believe they have achieved the impossible, boasting that they have finally crippled the crown jewel of the United States Navy. However, they are on the verge of learning a harsh reality. Getting a weapon off the launch pad is incredibly simple. Managing to actually strike an asset shielded by the most sophisticated multi-layered combat network in human history is an entirely different challenge. The countdown has begun. With less than 8 minutes on the board, those hypersonic payloads are going to plunge back through the Earth's atmosphere. Should the American naval kill chain falter for even a fraction of a second, the morning news cycle will permanently alter the course of global history. Yet, the shield guarding the Abraham Lincoln was not initially activated at sea level. The true defensive perimeter was established a staggering 22,000 miles out in space. Orbiting high above, a United States Space Force satellite packed with thermal optics precise enough to spot a solitary campfire deep in the woods registered the intense heat of the Iranian thrusters the exact moment they fired. This critical intelligence didn't slowly crawl its way up a bureaucratic ladder. Instead, the raw telemetry flashed directly into the military's overarching network of systems in real time. Deep inside the darkened Combat Information Center aboard the Lincoln, the quiet murmur of the midnight watch abruptly ends. The tactical action officer watches as sharp crimson icons suddenly materialize across the primary tactical screens. Thanks to the orbital asset, the exact flight path of the incoming threat has already been completely mapped out. The threat profile is now fully active. Crucially, this vital targeting feed isn't isolated to a single vessel's computer banks. Through the encrypted Link 16 network, the warning is instantly broadcast to every single warship in the surrounding carrier strike group. Sailing on either side of the massive flagship, the guided missile destroyers USS Spruance and USS Stockdale immediately pivot their powerful Aegis arrays toward the danger zone. The ships are no longer blindly scanning the heavens for anomalies. Instead, their sensors are locked dead onto the precise coordinates where the enemy munitions will breach the horizon at the top of their trajectory. That is the foundational step of the modern kill chain, spotting the enemy's strike well before the fist has even fully extended. However, the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps is not banking solely on a trio of heavy rockets. They are fully aware of just how capable the American fleet truly is. To compensate, they unleash a massive swarm, right at 0400 hours. While the heavy munitions are coasting through the cold void of orbit, scores of cheap kamikaze UAVs are hurled into the air off coastal flatbeds and nimble attack watercraft. These unmanned systems crawl along at a sluggish 120 miles per hour, yet their true purpose is simply to clog up the defensive sensor grids. The entire strategy relies on target saturation. Tehran's commanders are attempting to force the fleet's defenders into a fatal dilemma. Do the operators prioritize the hypervelocity warheads plunging from orbit, or do they pivot to intercept the 50 explosive UAVs skimming just above the waves? This is a textbook military conundrum meant to completely overload the cognitive and computing capacities of an average naval force. Yet, there is nothing average about the hardware fielded by the United States. The legendary Aegis combat system can effortlessly monitor well over 100 separate bogies at once, instantly ranking them by how quickly they will strike. Down in the CIC of the Spruance, the tactical commander isn't breaking a sweat. The officer is simply reviewing a neatly ordered threat matrix. The advanced algorithms have already designated the crawling UAVs as secondary concerns while painting the incoming orbital rockets as critical dangers. Without warning, the forward section of the destroyer violently explodes into action. Armored hatches on the vertical launch system slam open and a salvo of SM-3 defensive interceptors rockets into the dark sky. Carrying a price tag of roughly $11 million apiece, these advanced weapons justify every single cent of their cost. They aggressively climb toward the exosphere, punching right out of the Earth's atmosphere to intercept the hostile warheads in the absolute dead silence of space. We have now entered the most harrowing phase of the engagement. The enemy munitions have reached the absolute apex of their trajectory, gliding through the frictionless void right before initiating their devastating downward plunge. Hurtling upward to greet them, the SM-3 defensive rockets are blazing across the blackness at speeds exceeding 6,000 miles per hour. Interestingly, you won't find a traditional explosive payload strapped to the nose of an SM-3. Such a detonation is entirely unnecessary. Instead, the weapon relies entirely on a specialized kinetic kill vehicle to get the job done. Picture a pair of bullet trains violently slamming into each other head first while traveling at several thousands of miles an hour. That catastrophic collision is exactly what is unfolding in orbit. The defensive interceptor fires microscopic maneuvering jets to perfectly position its trajectory in the final moments. The resulting strike doesn't merely damage the incoming threat, it completely obliterates it upon contact. The sheer force of the kinetic transfer is so overwhelmingly powerful that it instantly reduces the heavy Iranian payload into a drifting mist of benign debris. Down in the combat center, the operators watch as a pair of crimson blips vanishes completely from their tactical monitors. However, a major complication arises. The third hostile rocket is exhibiting a noticeably altered trajectory. It is a leaker that managed to slip through the net. One of the defensive interceptors failed to connect. Perhaps there was a glitch in the targeting telemetry, or perhaps the hostile weapon executed an unexpected shift in its orbital path. That surviving payload is now tearing back into the Earth's atmosphere, wrapped in a blazing sheath of superheated plasma and plunging at a steep 70-degree slant aimed squarely at the supercarrier. The countdown to total devastation has dropped to under a minute and a half. While the escort vessels handle the high-altitude intercept, the vast runway of the Abraham Lincoln has transformed into an arena of highly choreographed frenzy. A pair of F/A 18E Super Hornets violently blast off the steam catapults, disappearing into the ink-black sky. These fighter jets aren't tasked with stopping the hypersonic plummeting warhead. Their specific assignment is to handle the low-flying UAV swarm and execute a massive electronic blinding operation. Trailing just behind them at 1,000 feet is an EA-18G Growler. For the commanders back in Tehran, this electronic warfare jet is the single most lethal aircraft airborne tonight. The Growler's pilot powers up the devastating ALQ-99 tactical jamming module strapped to its wings. The aircraft isn't merely broadcasting random static, its attack is incredibly precise. The system actively hunts down the exact radio bands the enemy UAVs rely on to communicate with their distant operators. It also aggressively blinds the active guidance sensors of any sea-skimming projectiles in the vicinity. In an instant, the entire hostile drone formation goes completely haywire. Kamikaze units that were programmed to strike the massive flagship begin looping aimlessly in the night sky. Their internal navigation links have been entirely corrupted. Several of the cheap aircraft just abruptly plunge straight into the rolling waves. The electronic warfare fighter has erected an impenetrable barrier of digital interference, essentially turning off the enemy's secondary strike. It is a brilliant display of tactical mastery and operational elegance. Without the flagship having to expend a single piece of kinetic ordnance, 50% of Tehran's coordinated assault has been completely erased from the combat zone. However, the clock is now inside 60 seconds. The surviving high-altitude rocket is a mere 3 miles away, plunging at Mach 5 speeds, which translates to almost 3,800 miles per hour. Guarding the supercarrier's flank, the USS Spruance immediately pivots to its final defensive option, the highly versatile SM-6. Widely considered the ultimate multi-tool of the American fleet, this weapon is specifically built to intercept extremely fast threats that have already re-entered the denser layers of the Earth's atmosphere. Equipped with an onboard active radar array, the SM-6 is highly autonomous. It no longer relies on the destroyer's sensors to keep the hostile bogey illuminated. Once it leaves the launch tube, it becomes an independent fire-and-forget executioner. The Spruance fires off a pair of them in rapid succession. The initial interceptor sails past its mark when the plummeting warhead executes a harsh last-second evasive jink. Fortunately, the follow-up shot connects flawlessly. The defensive rocket strikes the aft section of the enemy payload, throwing it into a violent spin before it detonates roughly 2 miles short of the massive vessel. The concussive blast violently shakes the reinforced glass of the flagship's command bridge, yet the ship itself remains entirely unblemished. As an absolute final precaution, The Phalanx close-in weapon system mounted on the carrier's sponson violently swivels its 20mm rotary cannons toward the falling wreckage. Affectionately dubbed R2D2 with a gun by the crew, this automated defense turret is a deeply intimidating piece of hardware. Capable of spitting out 4,500 armor-piercing shells every 60 seconds, the system activates independently, tracking the tumbling chunks of the shattered warhead before unleashing a deafening roar that resembles heavy canvas ripping apart. A dense cloud of solid tungsten rips through the sky, pulverizing the last surviving fragments of the rocket into harmless metallic confetti. The danger has officially passed. Meanwhile, far away in the Iranian capital, military commanders are already broadcasting their supposed triumph to the world. State media airs heavily degraded footage of a missile lifting off, abruptly cut alongside generic archive video of a maritime detonation. Their propagandists boldly declare that the USS Abraham Lincoln is currently engulfed in flames. They loudly boast to their citizens that hundreds of allied American sailors have been wiped out. Back aboard the actual flagship, however, the crew is casually lining up for their morning rations in the galley. The multi-billion-dollar vessel hasn't suffered so much as a chipped coat of paint. In this intense showdown, the American fleet didn't merely dominate the kinetic engagement. They absolutely crushed the electronic and technological war as well. The ultimate takeaway from this brief clash is undeniable. Throwing sheer numbers at a problem will always fail against highly integrated, top-tier defensive networks. Tehran burned through tens of millions of dollars to orchestrate this offensive. The aggressors threw their most advanced heavy weaponry and a perfectly timed kamikaze barrage at the strike group. The final outcome? The mighty supercarrier didn't even have to adjust its navigational heading. That stark reality highlights the absolute impotence of the adversary. Discovering that your nation's absolute best offensive capabilities can't even scratch the surface of your enemy's standard defensive posture inflicts a crushing blow to military morale. The United States fleet didn't simply weather a storm tonight. They definitively exposed Tehran's heavily hyped strategic rocket forces as completely toothless against the mighty Aegis combat system. How exactly did the American forces secure such a flawless victory? It is tempting to point to the $13 billion floating fortress or the $11 million interceptors. Yet, the true deciding factor was the 22-year-old enlisted specialist sitting in the Dark Combat Center. The crew never lost their cool, simply because they had successfully repelled this exact threat thousands of times in virtual training environments. These sailors treat the advanced radar arrays as a natural extension of their own physical senses. The deep-rooted culture of discipline within the fleet acts as the ultimate component in the modern defensive sequence. While the hostile artillerymen were undoubtedly cheering and embracing the second their rockets took flight, the American tactical officer was quietly verifying the target's destruction and preparing the computers for another potential volley. Witnessing such flawless operational execution brings an immense sense of pride, confirming that a wildly complex defensive strategy can be pulled off without a single mistake. This unwavering composure is exactly what secures the broader geopolitical landscape. The presence of the flagship is the sole reason the critical Strait of Hormuz remains navigable. It ensures that a belligerent local power cannot suddenly choke off 15% of all global maritime commerce. By casually swatting away an assault of this magnitude, the supercarrier is single-handedly preventing a catastrophic collapse of international markets. For more incredibly detailed moment-by-moment analyses of how American armed forces leverage their interconnected networks to systematically dismantle extreme global dangers, be sure to smash that like button and subscribe to the channel. We will continue to break down the cutting-edge hardware and combat doctrines shaping today's battlefields. Please note that the scenario outlined in this presentation serves as a tactical evaluation grounded in unverified accounts of rocket strikes targeting the USS Abraham Lincoln. Even though it is grounded in authentic military hardware, verified weapon capabilities, and genuine geopolitical friction, the exact sequence of events depicted here is a conceptual dramatization designed to demonstrate the defensive frameworks and operational doctrines of the American fleet. Until our next briefing, stay alert and always watch the horizon. You can be absolutely certain the fleet is doing exactly that. Farewell for now.